My CEO stole my $10 million algorithm to save his failing company, but he forgot one detail. I had filed a provisional patent exactly 24 hours before I showed him the code. I was a junior developer at a mid-sized fintech startup in San Francisco. My CEO, Julian, was a typical Silicon Valley shark, all charisma, no code. The company was bleeding cash, and Julian was desperate for a new product to secure Series B funding. In my spare time, on my own laptop, I wrote a predictive trading algorithm. It was revolutionary. I knew it was valuable. So before I pitched it to Julian, I spent $75 and filed a provisional patent application with the USPTO, the United States Patent and Trademark Office. This gave me an official priority date, proving I invented it before I brought it to the company. I pitched the idea to Julian on a Tuesday. He loved it. He immediately pulled out a stack of documents, a specific intellectual property assignment agreement, and a strict non-disclosure agreement. "Sign these, OP," he said, smiling. "We're going to make you a lead architect. This tech will save us." I signed. I assumed he would treat me fair. I was wrong. 3 weeks later, after I had integrated my code into the company's platform, Julian called me into his office. He didn't offer me a promotion. He fired me. "We're pivoting," Julian lied. "Your position is redundant." He fired me so he wouldn't have to give me the 5% equity he had promised verbally. He thought because I signed the IP assignment agreement, the company owned my code. He thought he could steal my invention and kick me to the curb. 2 months later, I saw the press release. Julian had closed a $20 million investment round based entirely on his new proprietary trading algorithm. I didn't call Julian. I called a patent litigator. My lawyer explained that while I did sign the IP assignment agreement, the document only covered work created during the scope of employment or after the agreement was signed. Because I had the provisional patent filing receipt dated before I showed him the code and before I signed the transfer papers, the algorithm was legally my prior art. It was my pre-existing property. Julian hadn't acquired it. He had stolen it. We sent a cease and desist letter not just to Julian, but to his new venture capital investors. We attached the USPTO filing receipt showing my priority date predated the company's access to the code. The reaction was nuclear. The investors froze the $20 million transfer immediately. They accused Julian of securities fraud for failing to disclose that the company didn't actually own its core technology during due diligence. Julian called me screaming, "You tried to sabotage my company. I'll sue you for breach of NDA." "I can't sue you, Julian," I said calmly. "You're infringing on my patent pending status. If you don't settle by Friday, I will file for a federal injunction to shut down your entire platform." Julian had no choice. Without my algorithm, he had no product and no funding. He was forced to sign a licensing agreement. He didn't get to own the code. He had to rent it from me. He had to pay me a $2 million upfront licensing fee. He had to grant me a 5% gross revenue royalty on every trade the bot made forever. He had to publicly acknowledge me as the inventor. I made more money in that one signature than I would have made in 20 years working for him. Julian kept his company, but now, every time his company makes $1, 5 cents goes straight into the pocket of the guy he tried to fire. I'm now a multimillionaire living off the royalties from a man who hates my guts. But Julian is still the CEO, and technically, we are now business partners. He invites me to board meetings, and the tension is unbearable. Do you think I should cash out completely and sell him the patent for a lump sum to cut ties? Or should I keep the royalty deal and force him to write me a check every month for the rest of his life just to spite him? Tell me what you would do in the comments.